Hi, welcome to Learning Leaders Spotlight, where we interview learning leaders so that the leaders of tomorrow can hear what they have to say about becoming a leader. I'm Leanne Langford, the president of Training Pros. Training Pros is an L&D contract staffing company, and we like to say when you have more projects than people, we'll provide you with the right L&D consultant to start your project with confidence. Joining me today is our guest, Brandy Ford. Brandy Ford is the AVP of Strategic Learning and Projects and Analytics at FM Global. Welcome, Brandy.
Hi, Leanne. Thank you for having me.
We're thrilled to have you here. Brandy and I were just at a conference together last week, so it was fun. And now we had already had this scheduled, so it was kind of nice. Brandy, can you just tell our audience a little bit about yourself, what you do, and your background?
Sure. Let's see. So I have been in L&D for a little over right at 19 years. I actually started like in just training and then a lot of facilitating and developing training for external partners. And then I've worked all the way up to training sales teams. And then I did that for 10 years. And then I came to FM Global right at 10 years ago. Absolutely love FM Global. We are a commercial property insurer. We're about 200 years old, and we insure property in about 182 countries. So I work in our L&D space, which is called the FM Global Academy. And annually, we have about 1,000 participants that come in person to our very customized training. And in my space in the academy, I oversee all of the portfolio, all the learning projects that come in, not only internally from the academy standpoint, but also from our business partners as well. And my team, they manage projects, very large corporate initiatives that have L&D pieces to them, as well as measuring the effectiveness of our learning programs, which is the analytics side. I absolutely love it. I have the best team in the world. Everywhere I go, I talk about how great my team is. And very fortunate because I know that every learning organization has this space or this group within their space. So I'm very fortunate to be able to do this at FM Global.
That is amazing. I'm sure your team is thrilled to have you as well. Can you tell our audience what first attracted you to learning and development?
I think it's in my blood. It literally is in my DNA. I come from a long line of educators. So grandmothers, great-grandmothers, they were all educators in school. And I come from a long line of pastors, preachers, and teachers. So it's like literally in my DNA and blood. And to be honest with you, Leanne, I love people. I am a people geek. I love learning. I am a lifelong learner. I love gaining information and being able to give it back to people. I love seeing people develop. I love seeing others learn. I love watching the different types of learning styles and how people learn and how do you meet people where they are and how do we engage and make sure everybody's included in learning opportunities. That's what really attracted me to this field. I have been in it for a very long time, outside of marketing and sales, but it's always been training. It's always been learning and development. And I eat, breathe, sleep this space. So that's what attracted me to the L&D space.
So that's amazing. I always tell my adult kids, if you find a job that you love, you'll spend the majority of your time doing things that you love and you won't be trudging to work and hating life. Sounds like you found.
Yes, I have. I wake up every day excited. As I progressed in my career, now for me, it's more about the strategies that are putting in place. And not only how people are developing, participants, learners, but even our team members. How are our learning and development staff? How are they developing as well? And I love everything about it.
That's fantastic. So you've been in the industry a while. What are the biggest changes you've seen over the last maybe 5 years in the L&D space?
I think there's so many changes, and change is good. As a change management practitioner, change practitioner, there's so much that enhances our industry, and it has really enhanced over the years. But some of the things I think about, especially when all of us went through COVID, we had a significant shift in like digital and remote learning platforms. So how we were shifting, if you come from an organization like ours who does mainly in-person learning, how do you shift those things and how are you incorporating those digital and remote learning opportunities? I talk to my counterparts from all over so many different industries, and they're always saying equitable and accessibility. It's a major factor, especially if you work in manufacturing or a plant or you work in some of the healthcare industry. But how do we make sure that everyone has access? And some of that comes from that digital and remote. I think as we are moving personalized learning experiences, because again, not everybody learns in the same way. They're becoming increasingly important as we talk about adopting and implementing learning experience platforms. People have been able to learn in the flow of work, putting learning in people's hands. And I think another major area for all of us right now is a growing emphasis on skill development, in particular in soft skills alongside of the technical skills. So, if you look at how people are communicating, negotiation skills, 6 critical skills like listening and presence and, all the things that come along with how you are interacting with your clients internally and externally, how you're working with your stakeholders. So how to deal with difficult conversations, how to manage objection, these type of soft skill things that are coming into play in the business world. I see a lot of that. And last but not least, I have to say data analytics and AI. That is just major, some of the major changes, because now in order for the L&D function to prove or provide evidence of the value that it is bringing, now you have the data analytics that supports that. Now you have the data that drives the evidence-based decision-making on learning strategies and how we implement and when we implement and all these different things like that. And then AI, like even with our design, how fast we're designing our curriculum, how we're laying out our content, all these different things. So I think those are very major parts in how we have how we're starting to change and what significant changes that are happening now.
Quite a few changes in the last 5 years.
So much.
Well, where do you see L&D heading? So, 3 to 5 years from now, how do you think it'll be even more different?
I think based on these, I'd say rapid changes, I think all of us are probably a little change fatigue because things are happening so fast, but greater integrations with technology, really how we are using our technology and what technologies we're using. As we all know, technology changes so much. Personalized learning paths. Like, how are we developing the learning paths for people, not only just to know what they need to know for their current position, but how do we put them in the best position to acquire and upskill to get to the next position? Blending work and learning together. So if you have your learning curriculum and you have your learning path that you're going on, when you come back to your day-to-day, is there a mentor? Is there someone sitting with you? How are you developing and growing even in the space of the day-to-day? So again, it's that learning in the flow of work, data-driven L&D strategies now. Like, yes, we've been able to put like all these great strategies together in the past, but now can we really use the data that's at hand that really tells us the direction that we should be going, where we should enhance, where we need to maintenance, where we have gaps, how we narrow those gaps. I'm looking at all those types of things like that. And then how are we allowing people to adopt or adapt to being lifelong learners? Like some people, some organizations, you take these set of courses or these set of curriculum or these workshops, and then you're done. And then you just continue, like you might have a series of about maybe 1 to 2 years where you're in this like learning thing as you're learning. But as you're learning and you're growing and your career path is, steady progressing, how do we have that continuous lifelong learning opportunity? And then really big right now is the social and collaborative learning. It's major, right now. It used to be like you could just go do your little learning, take your e-class, do your on-demand, and then you finish and you get your certificate that says you're completed. But how are we learning in a social and collaborative manner as well? So I think about all those things.
ever since the shutdown a few years ago, the sense of community has become more prevalent, and we understand that sitting at home and learning by yourself is not as good as building a community of colleagues,
Yeah.
people to share with.
And that's something we're working in our strategy as we are getting ready to implement a learning experience platform. How do we have these social communities? How can people develop the ease of finding people who may have experienced something that they have not, or be able to answer questions quickly? Yes, there's a lot you can do with the people that sit next to you, but from a global organization standpoint, I want to talk to somebody in Paris who has experienced this, I've been in a workshop and I met someone from Germany and they had something very interesting to say that they handle the situation this way. I want to be able to connect with that person or tell other people that they should connect with this person. So yeah, how are we building out those communities within special job families that people know who to go to or how to go to, or everybody is talking together to make sure we're all on the same page?
So let's switch gears for a minute. Can you tell me about the most impactful mentor you've had in your life?
Most impactful mentor, probably my first manager here at FM Global. She was phenomenal, just phenomenal. Letitia Hall, she had been in a role for about 17 years. I came in and even though I had 10 years of experience coming into a new industry, coming into a new company, she hired me, but she always told me, she was like, I know I'm not going to keep you for long. And she helped me grow and develop in everything I needed to do to succeed in this company. And because of her, now I'm assistant vice president. And like I started out in a processing role. And within 6 years, I made AVP. And it's because of that type of personable, someone who sees you, somebody who recognizes your gift and talent, and then someone who's going to not only invest the time, but also the finance in your development and your personal development and growth. And she just stuck with me and she helped me along the way. And every time I would knock something out the park, she was like, just keep, and she would track. And then also she was a huge advocate for me. So you have to have people who advocate as well. If your voice is not as big, yes, I have a big voice. Yes, I'm personable. Yes, I can navigate. But in a new organization, you need to have someone that can advocate on your behalf. And she was one of those people, taught me all the things that I needed to know about the business, gave me opportunity, allowed me to take on all the stretch projects that I wanted to take on, and just very significant. And to this day, she'll send me a note or she'll drop me something. She's just like, I was just so proud. I'm just so proud. And as she should, she's developed a lot of great talent throughout the years. She has someone who's a senior vice president now. So to see her legacy, it's just amazing.
That's a wonderful story. It's always nice to have a mentor who helps you accelerate your career and boost you and help you be who you're meant to be. What skill do you think is the hardest one to find right now? So if you're looking for help in your department, what's the hardest skill to come across?
I think the hardest skill right now is the analytics skill because people are still trying to learn exactly and what methodologies they want to use. Yes, we have Kirkpatrick's, and our organization specifically uses the ROI Institute methodology. But being able to have those things and go deeper from an analytical standpoint on what you want to measure, how you want to measure, what the KPIs should be, what you're looking for, how do you speak the business language, but also understand the L&D space. I don't think it's a unicorn right now. But I do see a lot of development in the learning analytics space, and I'm very excited about it. And I get people that come up to me all the time and say, what did you do with your team? Like, how did you build it out? Like, what did you do? And so people are learning that this is an important piece to our puzzle. And so I think that is probably like one of the hardest skill sets to find right now. And I think true project managers who understand L&D, not our instructional designers who are used to managing their design projects, but true project managers managing corporate initiatives. That is something very hard that I see, and I'm witnessing it right now. And I'm so grateful for my team. But we had like an outside person come in to support him. It didn't work well because that person didn't have an L&D background. They had a project management background, but it kind of make us stumble a little bit. So, those two areas.
Yeah. So with regard to the project manager with L&D background, yes, that one is a strong background to have if you can get it. So because there's so many aspects to an L&D project that a project manager does not really know how to consider and plan for.
Yeah, it's true.
Where do you get your industry news and information?
Currently for me, I look at training industry, to be honest with you. They have so much information and it's easy to gather. I get resources from ATD as well. And then let's see, you want a training magazine. I look for different articles. And then the last but not least for me, I'm on LinkedIn more than anything because I've connected with so many people and there's so much information out there in our industry. So, all of those different avenues to be able to absorb and take in information. And then I get the opportunity to attend enough conferences to where I am networking with my counterparts and we are brainstorming and we're all trying to figure it out. And we all learn something from the various sessions that we are attending as well. So I'm very strategic about which sections I attend when I go to a conference, especially if I'm trying to solve for something or looking for a way that someone else has implemented. So, that's another way.
All great sources. Having just gone to Training Industries event last week, I'm trying out Tia now, their AI tool. Have you tried it yet?
I have not tried it. I'm looking forward to trying it though.
It's very interesting because they built it on ChatGPT, but it's pulling from their database of industry information. And then as they give you information, they cite the source. Here's where I found this. So you can go and validate a lot more quickly and easily.
I can wait to use it.
Yeah, I've tried it out versus ChatGPT with the same question. And the stuff coming from Tia is definitely more customized and focused on L&D versus what ChatGPT gives me. So
Gotcha.
it's fun. What book would you recommend anyone looking to become an L&D leader read right away?
Can I give two?
Yes.
Okay. So my first, I have to say, because you and I just came back from Price, The Trusted Learning Advisor by Dr. Keith Keating. Like, I think this is a very important source. And then the other, because I've been flipping through it today to get some information off of it, it's The Business Case for Learning, and it's by Dr. Pat Phillips and Dr. Jack Phillips. They're also the founders of the ROI Institute as well. So this book right here, it teaches you how to build your business cases for your learning, and then it shows you like how to do the evaluation on them, and then how you do your reporting it from start to finish. So I think that's a really great book, especially because I am in the projects and analytics space.
I agree with you on those books. I've known Dr. Jack Phillips a long time. So, and of course, we both just had to hear Dr. Keith Keating speak about the content of that book. So, and I have 2 copies now because they gave us a second copy there at the program.
I love it.
Yeah. I was like, I already had this. Well, I'll take 2. No problem. I want to thank you so much for coming and sharing with us today, Brandy.
You're so very welcome.
You gave some great information. I think that our listeners will enjoy it and probably they'll run out and buy those books right away and take a look. As a thank you to you, we want to plant 5 trees in your name. That's our charity at Training Pros. We plant trees.
Wow.
And so the trees we're planting this month are for urban reforestation. So we're planting trees in cities where the tree population is down to help with all the different things trees help with.
Oh, that's amazing. What an honor. Oh, wow. That's an honor. Thank you.
Yeah. So I'll send you a certificate, or John will send you a certificate with your trees that we planted in your name. And again, thank you so much for doing this with us.
Oh, you're so very welcome. Yeah, this was a lot of fun. So thank you for having me. Thank you for the invitation. And just so happy to know Training Pros and the services you provide. And just to be a part of this is just amazing to me.